If you follow economic news, then it's no surprise to you that interest rates have been going up for most of last year. But other than it being more expensive to get a mortgage or a loan, or maybe earning a little more in your savings accounts, rising interest rates can impact your retirement in a lot of other ways too. If rates rise too much or too fast, then that can actually send the economy into a recession. So today I'm going to show you how this might impact your retirement plan in a few ways that maybe you haven't considered. And then towards the end, I'll show you some things you can be doing right now to protect your retirement and help you achieve your ideal future. But first, if you've ever bought a stock thinking that this was a winner, and as soon as you bought it, it went right through the floor, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Guys, today it's all about interest rates and its impact to your retirement. So here we go. The reason the Federal Reserve has been increasing interest rates is because they're trying to address inflation. Raising the interest rates is one of the tools that it has at its disposal. Last year, inflation was nearly double digits, and you don't want to let inflation get out of hand. If an economy is too hot and it's beginning to get too strong, you start to have problems. In fact, there's little that is worse to an economy than runaway inflation. We have countries all over the world that serve as an example of this. So they make money more expensive by rising the interest rates, which is essentially rising the cost of borrowing money. And if borrowing money gets more expensive, that means corporate profits are going to be reduced, which means corporations will slow down production, and eventually it helps to slow down the inflation. So right off the bat, you can immediately see that if there's a reduction in the profits from a corporation, that's going to negatively impact its stock price. And sure enough, last year was a testimony of this. But there's more to this, and this part is important. If interest rates remain high, which is what many economists think will happen, how is that going to translate into businesses continuing to have to pay more to do business? And for corporations to be able to adjust to this new kind of era, it's going to take them a little bit of time. Let's think back for a second to 2020 when we had that big market crash because of COVID. So this is 2020, this is representing the S&P. As soon as the downfall began, you can see how steep this was. However, the stage was really set for the economy to be able to recover. And so as soon as we figured out that COVID was not the next plague, the markets simply rocketed back up. Now, that's not the situation that we're in now, and so you need to consider the possibility of a slower recovery in your retirement plan. The economy is going to need some time to be able to adjust to this new environment that we're currently now in. But what about bonds? People use bonds in their portfolios as a braking system to slow down the volatility when stocks are not doing well. This is especially helpful if you're retiring, say, within 5 years or so, or maybe you're already retired. And a bond is basically a form of debt, only you're not the one that is indebted. The company that gave you that bond is now in debt to you. So think of a mortgage. When you get a mortgage from a lender, you pay it slowly back over time with interest. A bond works the same way, only they are paying you back the interest and then you get the money back. So for instance, say you gave a company or perhaps the US government in the form of treasuries a loan in the form of a bond. If you hold that bond until maturity, you receive your money back and you'll have earned interest along the way. So if interest rates are rising, what does that do to the value of the bond that you own? Think of it like this. If you get a bond from a company, meaning you lend them money, they agree to pay you 3% for your bond. And let's say in the meantime, interest rates are rising. So 6 months later, I go to that same company and I purchase the same bond that you bought, only now they're paying 5% instead of 3%. Which one of those bonds do you think is more valuable, yours or mine? Mine pays 5 and yours pays 3. What do you think that does to the value of your bond? So you can begin to see that there is an inverse relationship between rising rates and the value of bonds. By the way, it's for this reason that we actually saw double-digit declines in bonds last year as well. So an easy way to remember this is to think of a seesaw. As rates go up, the seesaw flips and the value of bonds go down. So this $1,000 bond, if rates rise, would have reduced to $980. And the same is true in reverse. So the same bonds that you were investing in to try and reduce the volatility in your portfolio might actually be causing some harm as well. Now, like we talked about earlier, one way to help hedge against this is holding those bonds to maturity. But is it better to hold it to maturity or maybe swap it for one in the interim that's actually paying more? And how frequently should you be checking on these? And even if you hold, and let's say you do actually get your money back, there's no loss whatsoever, it remained flat, did you actually outpace inflation, or was inflation higher than your return on investment? Remember, that's the whole point of investing, is to outpace inflation, grow your money faster than is the growing cost of everything. Because if you're not, you're still losing purchasing power from your money. And over time, this might mean that you're not earning enough return on your portfolio to keep you headed in the direction of your ideal future. So what can you do about this? Over the years of helping people retire, we found that one of the best things you can do is to set up your portfolio in a way that's going to be fighting that inflation as well as protecting you from those rising interest rates. And to do this, your money should be broken up into different piles that are each accomplishing slightly different things. And if you click this video on the screen, you can learn how to set this up so that you give yourself the best chance of a successful retirement. So I hope this was helpful. Feel free to reach out with any questions, and until next time, stay wise and stay wealthy.